Hi, my name is Jade Oldfield, and I'm a second-year English education major at the University of Lethbridge. In my opinion, healthy cooking is one of the most essential parts of a balanced lifestyle. It's not as hard as some people think, and you don't actually even have to give up that much, well, I guess, flavor or anything else, like people believe. My first year of university, I lived in residence, which was an experience and a half. But we had to buy meal plans, so we didn't have to cook, so it kind of alleviated some of the, I guess, stress. So you didn't have to worry about cooking all the time and dealing with exams and everything else. So anyways, it was really hard to, it wasn't hard to eat healthy. There's something that you may have heard of called the freshman 15, which is where they say in your first year of university you gain 15 pounds because you leave home, you don't eat as well, and there you go, right? Well, anyways, I actually ended up losing 15 pounds or so while we were during our first year, because with our meal plan, they didn't really have a lot of healthy options. So instead, I would just go to the salad bar and do that, right? So anyways, it takes a little bit of digging to find like what's appropriate for you to eat, because obviously myself versus a 25-year-old man, he's obviously going to need a lot more protein and stuff like that than I would. So there's certain people, there's usually on-campus dietitians that can help you figure that out. But overall, it's just finding the right amount for your body. It's just like the idea of getting a good sleep at night. You don't always have the same statistics or the same requirements as somebody else. So anyways, as I was saying, now I live in an apartment and I am required to kind of fend for myself and my boyfriend 24/7. So cooking for 2 people is a little better than cooking for 1, but it's a lot easier to cook for 4 or so, because I used to, in residence, I would cook like chili or something like that occasionally for my roommates so that we didn't have to go and eat at the cafeteria all the time. So anyways, cooking for 2 people can be a little bit hard, but if you cook enough, you have leftovers. But it's easy to make simple decisions that will really affect your lifestyle and your balanced nutrition. Instead of white pasta, choose whole grain. Realistically, there's no difference. We actually just had chicken Alfredo last night. You can use less sauce instead of like loading on the sauce, or instead, if you want to watch what you're eating, use tomato sauce instead of Alfredo sauce, because it's the creamier sauces and the creamier soups are a little bit higher in calories and fat. Also, different things like just choosing whole grain, just because it has more fiber, it keeps you full longer. Reducing the number of starches you eat and carbohydrates is really important, because your carbohydrates aren't actually a nutrient that your body needs. Your body produces it on its own. So either way, it's not something essential to the body. Protein is always important. So you want to have a good portion of protein. But of course, protein unfortunately is one thing that's a little bit more expensive for a student diet. So if you buy your meat on sale and freeze it, that really helps cut costs. Buying it in bulk really helps. And then just choose leaner alternatives like chicken, turkey, fish. Those are all great sources of protein. Also, when you're cooking, like, try and use vegetable oil instead of canola oil, or even better than that, use nonstick spray. The ways you cook it actually really help too. Like, if you can avoid it, try not to boil what you don't have to, because when you boil it, it breaks apart the proteins of the vegetables or the meat or whatever you're cooking, and then it doesn't have as much nutrients. So there are simple little things that you can do when you're cooking, and I mean, like, things like stir fries. Go buy a bag of stir-fry vegetables, which at Walmart's is like $1 to $2, and that can feed about 3 people with some rice. Throw it in a pan, heat that up, sear some chicken in a pan, and you're not breaking down the proteins that way, and throw a little bit of teriyaki sauce, which is low in calories and lower in salt, or even use a little bit of peanut sauce. And you can really play with things that you like to cut down the sodium or anything else, but it's just those little tricks that you can perfect that will really help to basically help with healthy cooking. And it's not as hard or as painful as it seems. Even buying lower calorie alternatives really help when you're trying to balance your lifestyle. So Believe it or not, it's not as painful as it sounds.